Hey babe, have you ever heard of Jansenism? Well, come with me on a journey through time and space. In the 1600s in France, there was a convent known as Port Royal. It wasn't just a convent, it was considered a threat. In Port Royal, there was a bunch of incredibly intelligent, deeply mystical women. They were translating texts, they were writing theology, and they were living in total defiance of what the Catholic Church expected from nuns. This was a time before the Enlightenment period. This was a time before the French Revolution. These women were Jansenists, and they were considered dangerous, not only by the church, but by the king. And not because they had weapons, but because they had ideas. These women rejected confession. They rejected all indulgences of the church. They said you couldn't earn your way into heaven with rituals. You needed grace, and that was between you and God alone. There are no priests required, no pope required, only you and your relationship with God. This terrified the church, and it terrified the king, because people started to believe that they could bypass the power structure. And that was where the structure started to lose their mind. Eventually, the papacy shut down Port Royal. They bulldozed it, they buried it, they tried to erase it, and they sentenced these nuns to silence. However, the ideas, they lived on. Some say Jansenism helped people plant the seeds of enlightenment and eventually pave the way for the French Revolution. Even when some of the figureheads of Jansenism died, many people in France were going to their graves and reporting all kinds of miracles, convulsions, healing themselves of crazy ailments. It planted a seed that spirituality was accessible from within, and that the priests and the Pope and the King may actually not have the connection with God that they claimed. This is an incredibly pivotal movement that, unsurprisingly, most of us have never heard of. Either way, it shows that what happens when a few mystic women say, what if the divine doesn't need a middleman? What if the divine doesn't need a man at all? Let's talk about it. We have a full episode out live now, link in the description.